What's going on? I'm still feeling like crap, but welcome to the Investing Bros. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time of day it is that you are listening to this. We are so glad you are here, and we are hoping that you are feeling better than me and doing better than you deserve, kind of like T. Shroom. I am joined by him this morning, but we got a lot to talk about because yesterday, of course, we discussed it. We had an impromptu live show, even though we said we weren't going to do a live show because Bitcoin pumped and then crashed yesterday. But we did find out something very important about what the future Bitcoin price will do. And we're going to talk about that in this video. So make sure you go ahead and smash that like button. Hit subscribe if you are new here. As I said, I am joined once again by my co-host, Mr. T. Shroom. Back up from his business trip. T. Shroom, how you doing? How you feeling?
Well, I'm doing better than I deserve, and we've got some
Yeah.
really good headlines to cover. So let's go ahead and jump right on into them. The first one here is actually BlackRock's boss, Larry Fink, says Bitcoin pump on fake ETF news shows pent-up interest in crypto.
Mhm.
And Tim, I do want to chat a little bit about this with you, but first we've got a message from our sponsors, BlackRock. So let's hear from them really quick here.
This rally is way beyond the rumor. I think the rally today is about a flight to quality with all the issues around the Israeli war now, global terrorism. And I think there's more people running into a flight to quality, whether that is in treasuries, gold, or crypto, depending on how you think about it. And I believe crypto will play that type of role as a flight to quality. This rally is way beyond.
Yeah.
So there you go, Tim. There you go.
Yeah, I think he's right. I think that this does show some. It showed a lot of what people want to do when we hear the news. My big concern here, T-Shroom, is that this is like in a football. This is like running the play, and you get to see the teams play, but then the refs blow the whistle to kill the play. But now the defense knows the play, right? In this story where manipulation has been so prevalent, and I'm not going to say that necessarily BlackRock was behind the fake news. I don't think they were. I think that this actually had nothing to do with BlackRock. But I think that Larry Fink and BlackRock see this as a very cool opportunity, that they know the heavy amount of money that wants to flow into Bitcoin once the news is real. This would allow for a lot of manipulation to continue, for a lot of shorts to be entered and to steal some liquidity, steal money from the retail investors. So don't get me wrong. This does show us how strong of how many buys are going to go in when the real news comes. Not that we didn't think that was going to happen, but this confirmation. But even worse, it's confirmation to those who maybe want to manipulate the price and know that they can get some suckers in the process. So interesting stuff to look forward to in the next couple of months.
Yes, with seeing the price movement from the fake news there on the iShares ETF approval, has it made you rethink your strategy? Because now we may be looking at some of the lowest prices that Bitcoin will ever be. Obviously, we can, on the charts, as I'm sure we'll do here in just a few minutes, we could make an argument for why that is not true and why Bitcoin's price will go lower from here for in the short term. But has this changed your strategy at all?
It definitely makes you pause to continue to watch for new developments. I mean, if the technicals change on the larger time frames, and we'll look at charts here towards the end of the video, if the charts change bullish on the larger time frames and we have not broken back below 25,000, then yeah, I think you have to say yes, my strategy is going to change. However, like I just said, I do think this is a lot like we just showed the manipulators the playbook. They just showed how many people, because the money that flowed in, I don't think was institutional money. I think it was retail money. We just showed how much dry powder is ready to scoop up and buy when this news happens. Which means now we've showed them our playbook. We've told them what it's going to take for things to get bullish. I think it gives the manipulators a lot of wiggle room to reestablish how they want to gather their supply. Now, it also could have been something that shows us, hey, maybe we don't drop as low. Maybe this is the reason why a lot of people think we will go sub 20,000, and maybe we only get to that 21.5 that we've talked about, that golden pocket. This could be something that actually does raise that floor. But I still believe, T-Shroom, that floor is sub $25,000. And even if we don't get into all the details in this video, make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel because we talk about this daily. I definitely, over the next couple of videos, next couple of live shows, will go into more depth about what that macro that macro price action looks like, and explain why I still think we're going below 25,000.
Absolutely. Well, we've got more news, and we'll get to the charts here very quickly. FTX, the news from the FTX trial. SBF used stolen funds as political donations. This is new news, right? We knew that they were making political donations to the tune of being the second highest donor to the DNC, but apparently they were using stolen funds now, is what the trial has found. Honestly, not a
Yeah,
super big surprise, but that's
yeah.
news.
Yeah, I think it's the confirmation of the suspicion. The suspicion was, where are they getting this money from? Oh, they're getting it from customer funds.
Right.
But now we have the details that have come out in court. So, yeah.
Crazy. Absolutely insane. And then something else came out yesterday as well in the trial. Bankman-Fried used customer funds for real estate investments. Probably slightly less shocking than the previous headline there. So, FTX. Now, this one actually may matter to you. FTX creditors could see $9 billion disbursements by next June. So FTX has introduced a revised plan aimed at returning more than 90% of creditor holdings that were held at the exchange prior to its November 2022 collapse. So welcome news for folks who had their money tied up in FTX. There's a good chance that you're going to get north of 90% of that back. Now, there's a chance that you won't get any of it back, so I wouldn't start budgeting with that money in mind. But this is welcome news for sure for creditors who've been burned. Then we've got Kathy Wood says Gary Gensler, who is standing in the way of the spot Bitcoin ETFs. So it's him alone. And the reason why I brought this article is actually not even the headline. It's actually this comparison down here. It's the author of this article from theblock.co said is Gary Gensler's personal Vietnam, a metaphor which I think is somewhat apt. And that's gonna wrap out our headlines. So that was really interesting to see kind of some of these developments, Tim.
Absolutely.
But are we regular guys ready to get into the charts?
We are regular guys ready to get in the charts. And
Let's do
let's
it.
spend some time over here. Let's take a look, starting off with Bitcoin, as I mentioned. Now, I drew this line this morning. Notice it isn't a perfect, it's not a perfect little channel right here, but we did have a rising trading channel. We're continuing. This is something I mentioned in a live show yesterday. We did what I suspected, or we did what I proposed we could do, is set a higher high in this little trend going back to September 7th, right? So we are still setting higher highs. We are still in a boat of setting lower or higher lows, even though we broke the trend on our support level. This is still, this low back here in just a couple of days ago is still a higher low than we had back on the 26th of September. So for right now, everybody, the trend is bullish. The trend is still up and to the right ever since back in early September. The problem is, again, we did not get above 32,000. And while I'm very surprised we hit 30,000, we hit 30,000 right on the head, like literally did not go a cent over $30,000, which means there's still a massive amount of sell. So even if we rally another, if we mount another rally in the next couple of days, which I'm not saying is impossible, I don't think it's going to happen, but if it does, I still don't see us getting over 30,000. Well, what does that mean? That means the right shoulder is still very much in play. And remember, like right now, today, it's the 17th of October. We've made our timeline now. More than likely, we're going to see the new dip, the new bottom, not bottom of the bear market, but bottom of this price action. We're going to see it happen sometime late November, somewhere way over here, maybe early December. I don't know why I didn't have it here. Let's go ahead and put a box. I'm my suspicion at this point is we're going to be somewhere over here. Let's go late November. And then we're going to kind of come here into early December. I'm going to go ahead and say that's the box. I'm looking for price action, probably come down into that box. We can go a little higher. Let's go up to 33,000 just because I know that's a level a lot of other people have mentioned. That makes a little square. We're not sitting in a rectangle anymore. We have a nice little square over here. That's going to be a very interesting price target for us to get to. Why is that? Well, going back to 2019, I have to do this. And I know some of you guys are getting tired, but we hadn't had an explosive rally like this, but we've compared this. I told you guys before, I thought that in the 2019 cycle, if we're being very similar, I thought we were somewhere in this range. Well, guess what? I didn't know we were going to have a very explosive rally. That's exactly what we had right here. When? In October. Yes, this happened the 25th and the 26th of October. You're not going to get in a perfect cycle, but in October of 2019, we had an explosive rally. I'm sure a lot of people felt very bullish about this, and then we keeled over. And not that I'm going to use this to say that we have to make the exact same drop, but after this explosive rally, we went ahead and continued to drop another 38% to the downside. Let's come back over and look at Bitcoin right now. I don't think 38% is going to happen. Let's just see. Well, maybe. I don't know. I have to actually see what 38% looks like. Yeah, 38% would put us actually down here towards 1848. Don't think that's going to happen, but I do think something, theoretically speaking, above 20% could happen from this crash. 23% would be 23,000. If we get down to 20,000, I think we're looking somewhere around 33%. More realistically, I'm looking at this 27, 28 range, around that 21.5 has become my new area that I'm actually, the more and more I've done the analysis on Ethereum, I'm not saying we won't go sub 20K, which I've said before, but I'm leaning a lot more towards that 21.5 more recently. And that's the reason why, is because yes, we had this explosive rally, but this has happened before. This is still a part of the cycle where we get another dip in. And again, remember, there's a lot of things hanging in the balance when it comes to the economy and global news that could still absolutely bring a suppression of price to Bitcoin. Did all this, didn't even look at the oscillators. Let's take a look at them this morning. The daily chart did catch up. Oh, which, by the way, Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index went a little higher than what I said yesterday, up to 52. I thought it would get to 51. So it went a little bit higher, but our oscillators are absolutely catching up. Not getting anything on the daily chart screaming reversal just yet, but I am expecting it, especially since you guys will see here on the daily chart with a close yesterday all the way up at 28,500. That is a higher close than we got back here at the previous peak. Well, guess what? The previous peaks are still higher on the oscillators. What happens if you cannot keep going up with the oscillator? You get bearish divergence. That moves us to the downside. That's what I'm still looking at. I want to see a major bullish flash, not only in the daily chart, but also I want to see it on the weekly chart to change my mind. And you guys can see, even after this dip, we have not gotten a bullish flash in price action since the bottom on the weekly chart when we hit this peak seeker bullish divergence green reversal. Not a single bullish flash on the weekly chart oscillators has happened. I'm waiting for that to change my mind on if we hit that at 25,000, I'll change my mind, guys. The weekly chart, if we get bullish, I'll change my mind. But we don't have that. So for right now, let's definitely keep our eyes fixed on this. Let's do a little more Bitcoin TA, and then we're going to move, take a quick look at some more macro stuff over on Cardano. 4-hour chart, we are respecting this bearish reversal we had right here. So another reason to suspect that today might not be as bullish as you would like. A lot of bearish calls here on the 4-hour chart. A reversal came in. We wicked above our wave, but then closed back inside of it. Guys, I don't think that the rest of the day is going to be bullish here for Bitcoin whatsoever. Let's go back to the daily chart. Now, there's something we're going to cover in future shows. Cardano continues to respect the resistance. Now, you guys know that we love Cardano. You know I'm bullish on it long term. Ben Cowan actually put out a video recently about Cardano. I completely agree with him. He talks about how he thinks the Cardano over Bitcoin is going to fall. I think it will. I still am going to hold to an 18-cent Cardano. I think maybe even a little bit lower, but be prepared. Ben Cowan, if he's right, it might actually drop below this support level, get a little bit closer towards this 14-cent region. Still don't think it's going below that, but we've had that marked now for months. Let's see what happens. But Cardano, guys, not necessarily sitting in the most bullish spot. Even the money flow right here, you see the oscillators keeled over. Money flow still going to the downside. I do think that something's going to break. 24 cents has been a strong level of support, but I do think something, the same news and catalyst that makes Bitcoin drop back below 25,000 is also going to be what causes Cardano to crash below the 24-cent range. We will set new lows for the year, but that just means better buying opportunities. So don't feel discouraged. Make sure to take advantage of it. Another reason we think that's going to happen, Bitcoin dominance just continues to climb to the upside, everybody. Again, 60%, which I've said in the past, is asking for a lot. I'm leaning more towards 55, 57, but it's absolutely in the cards, especially if we see like what happened yesterday. This is another thing. If that Bitcoin ETF does get approved, we could see a very big spike of the dominance happen on that day, like we did yesterday. Continue to keep your eyes on dominance, but as long as this is continuing to move to the upside, altcoins are definitely in trouble. Ones like Cardano, ones like Ethereum, these are more significant movers. You definitely want to watch out for them. Guys, here's the other thing. Ethereum. We've talked about this before. I'm going to close out with this, but Ethereum continues its bearish move, I actually have kind of looked at some stuff, reevaluated. I do think Ethereum is going to be dropping below $1,200. I think we're going down towards $1,100 for Ethereum. Why? Because we broke this uptrend. We broke the support. We rejected on it yesterday, confirming Ethereum is continuing its downtrend. But Bitcoin bull trend, Ethereum bear trend. Watch the Ethereum over Bitcoin chart move to the downside. You'll see a video from me very, very soon going more in depth here, but do not be surprised as Bitcoin does make a move below 25,000. Ethereum makes a move below 1,300 and starts to approach closer towards $1,100 levels. Guess what, guys? That just means a good buying opportunity. Ethereum, Cardano, Bitcoin, they're not dying. The price will just go down, and that means great buying levels for you guys. T-Shroom, that's all I have for everybody in the TA this morning. Make sure you guys come back and join us for our 3 p.m. live show. We will be going live this afternoon. Now, the rest of this week, I don't know what's going to look like. T-Shroom and I are going to have to kind of stay on board. I do think I think we'll probably have a show Wednesday and Friday. I think Thursday, the live show is going to be a no-go. I am going to be on baby duty for the rest of this week. So I'll do the best I can to continue to be here. But Taylor's got some stuff she has to do, and she needs me to watch Brody Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So bear with us. We're going to make it through. But with that said, smash the like button on your way out. Hit that subscribe button if you're new here, and we'll see you this afternoon.
Trying to make paper, turn that better to cake. Money like Lego, connect the dots that bank. We are investing bros. We are investing bros. Army pipe, lethal on trade. Entries and exits, worthy of praise. Tim, the professor of the TA. Shouted out loud on the PA. T-Shroom's news got the word. Doing better than what he deserves. Beamer, leave no evidence. Soon fly coop with his dividend. Trying to make paper, turn that better to cake. Money like Lego, connect the dots that bank. We are investing bros. We are investing bros.